Hey, Free Footy friends. Welcome back to another 4 p.m. session. Welcome back to Payne. Hey, Jackson.
Hello,
How are you doing?
doing awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. The sun's shining. It's a nice day out, so I'm excited
It
to
is.
get out pretty soon. I seen you change scenery. Last time you were in your daughter's room, which was
Yes.
super awesome because it had kind of like a rainbow, right, on the
Yeah,
wall.
I have a rainbow
Yeah.
wall.
That
Yeah.
was super cool. So you changed scenery. You're in your garage. You made this
Yeah,
kind of your home gym.
that's right. Yeah, made the garage my home gym the last couple months, and moved some of the workout stuff that I've had in my house now in the garage, and so it's been actually a good transition. It's given a little more space in our home rather than
Yeah,
me taking up too much space with the workout
yeah.
stuff.
It looks awesome. It looks sweet. So all this stuff is kind of from like you've had this for a while, hey? Or is it stuff that's
So some of this stuff I've been able to borrow from my gymnastics
oh cool.
training gym. Other stuff I was actually sponsored through a company called Spieth Anderson, an gymnastics equipment company. They've sponsored me a few pieces of equipment that have helped me through this
Cool.
isolation time, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, but and then some of it's and stuff that I accumulated over the years. But
That's awesome. Super cool. Looks fun. So Jackson, what are we gonna be working with you today?
so today we're gonna work on some cartwheels and work on our handstands again.
Okay.
Um, Before we do that, we'll do a quick 2 minute warm up to get our blood flowing and to do a few little stretches to get some mobility before we get into those things. But yeah, those are the two skills we'll be working on today.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I know from last time we were together, I don't know if you remember, but I was like, it's one thing I've always wanted to do was a cartwheel, and I just could never do it. So I'm excited about today. Awesome. Let's get into the warm up then.
Sounds
What
good.
do we need a lot of space or
Yeah, good
like
point. So for cartwheels, you know, uh, more space the better, obviously. So
yeah,
even if kids are able to go outside and take their computer or phone with them while they
yeah,
watch this and go outside on a nice day like today would be ideal, on the grass or something. But if you have the space inside your house, just as good. I'd say a space, anywhere from, I don't know, at least 10 feet to give yourself the appropriate room just so you don't hit anything.
okay. I'm gonna try my best here.
Okay. So with the limited space, I guess we'll just start with warm up. We can start with, just to get warm, just some jumping jacks. Regular old warm up routine. It is for about 30 seconds. Then we can start running on the spot. You can do run and turn around and running. So you don't get too bored. You can do some hops. And like you're skipping. One foot. And hop on the other foot. Then we can just start doing some front circles. Just get the shoulders nice and loose. And go the other way. Just let them relax and do some side to side upper body swings. Loosen up your back a little bit. And something, so since we're going to be doing some handstands and cartwheels today, we're going to warm up our wrists a little bit. So put your hands together like this and do some wrist rolls. Whichever way you want to do these. Push them out. And then just however you feel that will warm up your wrist the best. A little bit of elbows. And we can get down on the ground and stretch out our wrists this way. Put your hands down on the ground. Try to face your forearms outside and rock back and forth. Then you can switch your hand placements and start rocking back and forth with your hands facing forward, and maybe put them towards the inside, just so that our wrists are nice and warm and ready to do some handstands and cartwheels. Because handstand is actually part of a cartwheel, technically.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the last little warm up we'll do here is we'll stretch out our shoulders a little bit. You want, this is I guess a lot of people call this a cat stretch. Push out your hands while you're on your knees and just push your armpits to the ground. And hopefully you'll feel that kind of in your lats on the side of the side part of your back. Okay. So let's maybe not waste any more time and start getting into these skills. So we'll start with the cartwheel, since we haven't done that one yet. So first thing that we want to do, so I don't know, some of you might be able to do a cartwheel already, and that's great. Some of you might never have tried it or may never have done it before. So I'm going to start at the beginning. And first off, you need to realize which foot you feel comfortable in front. So this is the first way to start a cartwheel, is that you can either start completely sideways, but you need to know if this side feels good or this side feels good. So give yourself a second to just kind of feel that out. And if one way feels more natural than the other, with your right foot in front or your left foot in front, which one feels the best, we'll go with that one. Okay. So that's usually how we figure these things out in gymnastics. It's kind of a little bit of a trial and error.
I don't know. What if they both feel the same?
If they both feel the same, then let's try one way.
Okay.
And so for me, I'm a little bit of an odd case. I'm usually left-handed.
Okay.
When I eat and write and stuff, but I'm gonna put my right foot forward. Oh,
okay. Are you left-footed too then, or are you kind of like does that a thing?
So here's another example. If you run and take off with one foot and do a hop, which foot are you gonna take off with when you do a hop?
Oh, my right.
Okay.
Yeah, my
so
right.
if you're running and you take off with one foot and hop, if it's the right foot that you take off with, let's start with that one.
Okay.
So you're gonna put your right foot forward. And so you want to put your right foot forward. That means that your right hand is going to be your first hand on the ground,
Okay.
right? So right foot forward, right hand in front, and let's just slowly go towards the ground, putting your right foot or right hand in front of your right foot, and then slowly kicking towards, put your left. Yeah, yeah, there you go. That's the starting point. You always want to keep your two hands together. Don't put this one back here. Keep your left hand in line with your right hand. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then as soon as that right hand or your first hand hits the ground, your second hand should follow immediately after.
Okay.
So first hand, second hand right away, and let your feet follow through. Okay, there you go. That's the beginning phase.
I will, you know what, Jackson, I'm not gonna lie. I think there's a little bit of fear in there, you know, where it's like, I don't want to fall. So you kind of like go in halfway, you know, I just gotta go in.
Yeah, sometimes you have to commit and see what happens, because you're never gonna know until you try sometimes.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
So as you do those small steps, like, but make sure don't keep your hand up here for now. For this first step, keep your hand kind of on your second hand on the side here. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then put both hands down quick and kick your right foot over. Perfect. That's a good start.
Okay. Okay.
And so the progressionary steps on that is to keep working that style of cartwheel where it's kind of around the side, and eventually, as you get less fearful, as you get more confidence in yourself, you'll want to kick over a handstand. So I'll show you.
Okay.
So right now we're starting like this.
Yeah.
Right? And eventually you'll start going a little higher. And then eventually you go a little bit more through handstand. And then eventually you can just go completely through a handstand.
Okay. We're gonna try this. I'm just gonna change my video there so everyone can see me. Okay, here we go. Oh man.
Yeah, that's perfect. And so I wanted to.
I don't know what
That's
it is.
great.
Like,
The landing's kind of, it might feel weird at the beginning, but your landing is fine because you're still facing the right way.
okay.
So sometimes some people, they feel like they need to land a different way, like they're facing. So when you do a proper cartwheel, I'm facing this way, and I go like this, and I'm facing the same way.
Right.
Right?
Okay, one more. Here we go. It's just, I guess, maybe like you said, it's all about practice, and you'll get stronger with like the handstand, right?
Right.
Okay.
You'll gain more and more trust in yourself, basically, as you kick higher and higher in the cartwheel.
Right. Okay. Here's my last final one.
All right.
Oh, I always get so nervous. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's even better. That's like probably 10 degrees better since like their first one 10 minutes ago.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Cause yeah, I think it's just getting stronger on that handstand because my feet want to get down on the ground. That's what it feels like.
Right.
As soon as I get there, I'm like, okay, feet got to go down. Let's go.
Right.
And I just have to trust myself to carry my feet.
Right. And so that's
go outside now.
So, so that kind of segues us into our next skill, which will help your cartwheel, is to get more comfortable with an actual handstand.
Okay.
And so last time we talked about the progressionary steps, and that, I'll show you. I'll move my camera a little bit. Those were perhaps starting with your feet on the couch and putting your hands down. So something along the lines like this. You start by a wall or a couch, and you slowly bring your feet up like this, and you hold as long as you can, and then and then as you continue doing that, you get stronger and stronger, and you start walking yourself up the wall more and more,
And walking closer.
Eventually, you're basically in handstand as you walk closer and closer with your hands towards the wall.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to I have this little spot on the wall here.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And this was just with practice too, right? Like you want to know like how long to hold it and then your time every time.
Yeah, it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of letting your body gain the. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's a lot about letting your body familiarize itself with the movement.
My spine realigned somehow,
So
Okay,
that was
and then that's how you kind of. Okay, so I just got off the wall, and then to get stronger, you walked yourself toward the wall.
Yeah, walk yourself slowly towards the wall, and handstands is all about just holding the handstand. That's how you get stronger on the handstand, really.
Yeah.
So as you hold it and you practice that, you'll find that the next couple days, weeks, you'll just naturally be able to put yourself closer to the wall, which means as you're putting yourself closer to the wall, you're actually putting more weight on your shoulders and wrists.
Yeah.
So you need to progress up to that, and that's a good way, is just to slowly walk yourself up towards the wall.
That's awesome. And then I know I'm not ready for this yet, but then do you eventually start walking away from the wall and taking your feet with you? You know what I mean?
So that's for sure the next step. So the next steps would be, as soon as you're able to do this, you can go up like this really easy. Then the next steps could be where now you face the wall.
Okay.
And similar to a cartwheel, put your first leg in front of you. In our case, it's our right leg. And we kick up against the wall. We can kick up against the wall this way. And that's so that you can have the confidence to kick against the wall and you won't fall over.
Yeah.
And once you feel comfortable with that,
you can start walking.
You can start walking.
Oh yeah, no, this is the farthest I can go.
Yeah, that's awesome. And after you do that a couple of days, a couple of weeks, like you'll be able to get right up there. And then as soon as you're able to do against the wall, it'll be as easy as just kicking up to handstand and being able to walk.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. Sweet. I'm so excited to go outside now. I'm gonna try this because
outside is a good place to try it because you have all the space in the world,
and grass is a little bit softer than hardwood.
Grass is a little softer than hardwood, or even softer than the carpet.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Jackson, for showing me how to do a cartwheel. You guys, it's never too old to learn something new, for real. And I'm excited to perfect it, and then just start doing handstand walks down my street. No big deal, That's awesome. Thank you, Jackson, so much for those skills. Before we end our session, we've been doing a quick mental health chat, just helping kids kind of, understand their emotions and manage them. You know, with all this craziness happening in our world now, it's more important than ever that we teach these kids how to regulate their emotions and techniques, right, to do that. So
Sure.
this week we're talking about what to do when you're scared or nervous. And as an Olympian, I'm sure there's been moments in your career that you faced, you know, things that are nerve and whatever. So I don't ask, like, what are your techniques?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's
been for sure many, many times, and still to this day, there's a lot of times where I've been scared and fearful of many different things, whether it's competing or learning a new skill or anything. And so, what I have done, and some things that I've uh, learned to help get over some of those fears, or maybe not get over them, but help deal with them, because you know you really can't lose all fear. In some cases, having some fear is good. It means you're human, and you're living, and you're experiencing something new, and
Totally.
it's a good experience, really. So don't ever feel like when you have fear it's a bad thing. um, and so, but in order to help you manage that fear, or help you to get over that fear, sometimes is there are a few different techniques that you can use, and or ways that you can help yourself. So for me, just in the last couple of years, I'll explain one way I've I've been able to help myself is, whenever I feel fear or anxiety or anxious about something, or I I use what I call, or what we call, some of us use it as Mac. I use the term Mac it, and it's kind of funny because sometimes we say let's Big Mac it, and it's kind of a funny little acronym. But what it means is, be mindful. So the M comes from being mindful, or or be aware that these things are happening, that you're scared, and it's okay. And the A is similar, but it's another step forward, is acknowledging it. So you're accepting that 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 you are afraid, or you are being nervous, or
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. um, and the C comes from continue or commit. And 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 what that means is, you even though you're scared, and or nervous, you know we can still continue on what you're meant to do, or what you're about to do. And so, as we're mindful and we acknowledge, and then we commit or continue, as you break those things up, uh, it helps me manage those feelings. And sometimes that process takes like 2 seconds. I and then sometimes it takes a couple minutes. Sometimes it takes a whole day. It really varies. Like, sometimes I'm about ready to do about ready to put my hand up and compete at a competition, and 5 seconds before, I'm like, oh man, I'm really nervous, I'm scared. And so in my head I think, okay, let's just smack this, and carry on. And then 24 hours before my competition, I'm like, oh man, I'm so nervous for tomorrow. But throughout the day, I mac it so that I'm ready for the next day.
I love that. I love that acronym. I think I think that's, we were talking about cues earlier on today.
Mhm.
Jackson and I were talking about cues offline, and you were saying about the cues. Mac it could be a verbal cue for some kids, right?
Right.
Just the moment you say Mac it, you don't have to go mindful, acknowledge, commit. It's just Mac it.
Yeah.
So one, I just want to go back to your mindfulness point, is being present at that moment is so important. And I love that point, because a lot of times I myself, when I get, when I'm scared or nervous, I forget where I am,
Mhm.
and I can't perform, right? Because I'm not at the soccer pitch anymore. I'm in my little mind somewhere else. So I love that. Be mindful and just be present at that moment. And it is experiencing new things. Like there is a little bit of excitement to that why am I scared? Why am I nervous? It's because you care, and it's because you're experiencing something totally new. How cool is that, right? Like
Exactly.
fears can be a negative thing, but you're experiencing something new. Taking that
Yeah.
experience, what can you gain from it, and can you move past it? That is cool. um, I love that acronym. I think it's super easy for kids to remember that. So it was mindfulness, acknowledging, which
Mhm.
it is okay to feel these things. We're human. These emotions are totally normal, right? And from as a little kid to as we grow up as adults, we'll always feel these things, right? And even like Olympians, right? Like yourself, that are still feeling these things, that train day in and day out, that still feel these things. I think that's it's just a remembering that everyone feels this. It's so normal, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the last one was continue on, right? Just commit, just do it.
Yeah.
I think you guys, I think everyone just saw me be scared of doing a cartwheel. You guys, it's a cartwheel, but it's something new to me. And it took, you're right, it takes 2 seconds, or sometimes it takes a longer time. And
Mhm.
for all the kids out there that are listening, definitely take that acronym MAC it. I think that was awesome. And don't worry about how long it takes you. And everyone's different. And
Yep.
every situation is different. For me, a cartwheel, it took 2 seconds to get over it. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Whereas something much bigger, maybe an exam, a school exam, or tryouts for a team, or whatever it may be, that might take a day, maybe two
Mhm.
days, or maybe
Yeah.
it happens like 3 or 4 times in a week. So
Exactly.
I love that, Jackson. Thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for the skills. I'm super excited
No
to go.
problem. I'm glad I could come back, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me, and yeah, it's been fun.
I wish you best of luck going forward. I know a lot of the gyms may be opening up soon, and hopefully, team sports are coming up back too. So hopefully, in the near future, competitions for yourself will come back, and then, yeah, but
Yeah.
thank you again for coming on, and hopefully we can talk soon. Thank you,
Great. Great.
everyone. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
joining our session. I hope you guys had fun and learned something, and go outside and try doing cartwheels or handstands, and definitely show us what you guys are doing out there. We will see you guys tomorrow for another 4 p.m. session. Thank you, Jackson. See you.
Sure. Thank you. See you later.